Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on this live. I am Coach Sherri, and I am your career and business coach. My purpose is to encourage, coach, and empower you, whether it's in your career or in your business. And it is something that brings me joy, and it's something that I am so thankful that I am able to do every single day. Today is the 23rd day of November Thankful Nuggets, and I woke up this morning feeling so blessed and thankful that I am able to do what I know that God has assigned me to do and do it every single day. It is so important to understand each day what your purpose is. I see Be You Beautiful One is in the building. Thank you and good evening. Thank you for joining the live tonight. I am talking about the November Thankful Nugget. Today is the 23rd, and it's the 23rd nugget. And I wanted to do this live because I want to just get some feedback and possibly help to encourage others to also get their purpose and understand what their purpose is. It is so important each day to know what you are purposefully going to do. And I have been so blessed and fortunate to know what my purpose is. And so that is what I am most thankful for today. Let me see. So I also see that Yees Belize is in the building. Good evening. How are you? So great to see you. So great to see you. And I'm glad that you all are speaking to one another. Big Tim in God We Trust is in the building. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. So I am Coach Sherri, and this is my live. I don't go live typically on Mondays. My day to go live is usually on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I am going to be going live more often. And I'm glad that you all are here in the building. I am sharing with you my November Thankful Nugget number 23, and it is waking up and knowing what my purpose is. And I wanted to go deeper into why I know it's my purpose and the importance of waking up every day with a purpose. God has given us all an assignment, and it's really up to us to do what we're going to do with it. You know, we're either going to sit on it or utilize it. And I intend to continuously utilize what I know that is my purpose. I am a career and business coach, and my purpose is to encourage, coach, and empower others. And I do that every single day in some kind of way, big or small. And I know that that is my contribution. That is my legacy. That is what I'm leaving, and am helping my community and helping those who maybe are in a place where they don't know which direction to go. And so it is my pleasure to serve them in that way. Let's see. So I wanted to go into when I realized the importance of having a purpose. So back in 19 let's see, around 1994, 1995. I got married in 1995. My husband and I dated for 3 years. And I always had a career. I always made my own money. I always did extremely well with what I was doing. And my husband had a professional career as a National Football League player. And so, he had a career that was a little, his platform, not a little, I'm not going to diminish it that way. He had a platform that was huge. And so, wherever we went, people, of course, gravitated more to him than to me. And that was fine. I can play the background. I could do that. I have no problems with that. But it wasn't until I want to say 1995, that season, when thank you so much, Big Tim and God We Trust. Thank you. God bless you too. Absolutely. It wasn't until 1995, when we lived so far from our families, and Every day he woke up with a purpose. His purpose was, of course, to go to work and to learn new plays, practice, prepare for that Sunday's game, whatever it was around his profession. Because we had moved away from our family, I didn't have my career. And this is something that I think a lot of people don't realize when it comes to the wives behind the men in professional sports. And I'm saying wives because if you are a girlfriend or a fiance, you have options. You don't have to go with them. Even as a wife, you still have an option, but I feel like it's an obligation because you did make that promise in front of God and family and friends that you would be there with them through thick and thin. And there's so much thick and thin that goes on, especially during a season. I just could not bear not being with him as his wife during the season. Now, as a girlfriend or a fiance, no. I, doing my own thing. As a fiance, I would visit. As a girlfriend, no. In terms of if he was far away. But as a wife, I felt it was my duty, my obligation as his wife, as his partner, as his rib to be there with him during the season. I never wanted him to come home to an empty home. I when we moved, the minute he came home from camp, our house looked like we lived there for years because I was determined to make it a home. And so, putting things in place and just making it as comfortable as possible and for the both of us. So when we were in far away from our families, and I remember, he would get up and go, and I would be home. We didn't have children, we didn't have pets at the time, and I had to just try to find my way. So what I did and what I always did whenever we moved to a new city was go around and learn the city, see the historical landmarks, meet the people that lived there, that were from there, and just do that. But that just was not enough for me. And when he would come home, after being gone all day, because their jobs are very similar to a 9 to 5 during the week, but it's longer, because he would leave at like, well, I guess it depends on the player and their dedication, because he would want to be one of the first there and the last to leave. So he might leave at 7:30 in the morning and not come home till 6:30 in the evening. And when he would come home, I would wait at the door and want to know every single solitary thing that he did from walking out of the house to when he came back home, because I just didn't have that network. I didn't have, a lot of people to communicate with. I didn't have a true purpose. And so I was trying to, I guess, live off of his purpose. And that wasn't filling enough for me because he couldn't understand that me asking him all those questions, all those detailed questions, and wanting those detailed responses was because I wanted to glean and extract his purpose and try and make it my own. And at some point, and not too long, I realized that that could not be. Like, in order for us to make it work, I needed to find something to have purpose. And so that's when I went back to my roots, which was entrepreneurship. And I got a business started, something that if I had to move, I can take it with me. It wasn't a brick and mortar. It was something I was able to do from the home, something that I ended up having clients all over the world, not even just the country. It ended up being an international business. And I actually registered it and ran it from New Jersey, which is where I was from, because I knew that that was a solid ground. We have a property there, my family was there, my brothers. So I had my P.O. box, my bank there. So one of my brothers would, make my deposits, pick up my mail, ship it to me, everything like that. And it worked. And so that filled me and gave me purpose every day, because even in that business, I was serving others. I was helping students all around the country, all around the world, to be able to go to college. And so that was something that definitely put me, jump started me to where I am now and what I am doing. I mean, it just snowballed from there. Let's see. I see Real Mamas, Real Problems is in the building. Good evening. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for joining the live tonight. And so after that experience, and I did that business for a few years, and actually until I had our first child, I was able, like I said, it was transferable. When we moved to another state, I was able to take it to that state. I was able to hire young people to work with me. They would come to my home office and after school and help me with the business. So it really was something that was great. But the thing is, I remember when we moved to our next team, and this is something that really, really stuck with me. That year he was a free agent, and that was the first time that, well, it really wasn't the first time, but free agency really just started at that point where, teams would be flying players in and whining and dining them. And it was an amazing experience, something that in my wildest dreams, I don't think I would have ever thought I would have had that experience. And so a team flew us in, and it was actually our wedding anniversary week that we went up there. And it was the most remarkable experience. The head coach and the general manager picked us up from the airport. They took us to a five-star hotel. They had the starters, the number one draft picks from previous years, to take us out around town. They had a realtor taking me around, showing me homes, and it was remarkable, just the amount of attention that they gave us and how bad they really wanted my husband, which, if some of you may know, the first 3 years of his career, he didn't even dress for games. He didn't even fly to away games. So here we are now, 5 years later, and 5 or 6 years later, um, from when he first got drafted to now, teams are flying us in and are treating him like a blue chip first rounder. And it was just really, really amazing. And that really showed me how much dedication, hard work, tenacity, and initiative really pays off. We got a new manager, um and we definitely vetted him. We had interviewed several and went with this one because we felt he had the most connections, and it just really, really paid off. It was a blessing, it truly was. But the thing that stood out to me was when the general manager would ask me, so what do you do? And I thought that was the oddest question because, mind you, this is before the internet, before Google, before high speed internet, any of those things. And I mean, I think there might have been internet, but it was just such a limited amount of things that you can do with it. And at this time, in actuality, um, it was before email. This was before email. This is even before we didn't even have children or anything, but this was before email. And so I thought it was kind of strange that he would ask me that. But even though I felt that was strange, it didn't it bothered me, but it was okay with me because I had my own business. So I was able to, tell him about my business. And he was like really impressed. So I was like, yeah, wow, thinking to myself, I'm so glad that I have a purpose, that my purpose is just not 100% my husband, because there's no way a person who is living their dream, who's living in their purpose, who is working according to their assignment, there's no way that can be yours. There's no way. I don't care how attached you are to them. Even if you're a Siamese twin, you still have to have your own. And so I felt, really good and grateful that I had something that I could say, this is what I do. And I remember asking one of the other wives later on, because I noticed that he would ask a lot of the wives that same question. And I said to her, how does it make you feel when, I said, what do you say when he asks you that question, when he asked you that question, because I knew that she didn't have a business. She just basically whatever, her husband wanted needed her to do or whatever, that's basically what she did. And I was so surprised at her response. Her response was, I tell him nothing. I told him such and such, I'm not going to say her husband's name, doesn't want me to do anything. So I don't do anything. I don't do anything. My man makes X amount of money. I don't have to do anything. And I was like, ooh, ooh, that that stung me. Um, it's almost like a mother, and I say this, just I don't want to be too general with it, but a lot of my clients, have been mothers, and many of them, that's what they did for their entire, like they had a professional career, but as soon as they became mothers, for the next 18 years, they didn't work, and so then their child goes off to college, and they're looking around like, who am I? Where am I? Their husbands have their careers and are doing their thing. Their beat never stopped. But when, for them, everything stopped as soon as their child left the nest. So I'm looking at these women like, you know, this career is short lived. And, what's going to happen when, the lights go out? What is that going to look like? So I really didn't share a lot with a lot of the women, what I was doing. Many of them didn't have careers because many of them were not from that city. I'm trying to tell you, um, the life of like especially a professional athlete's wife is really challenging because 9 times out of 10, we went to college. We had aspirations for amazing careers. And if we are going to be that wife that's going to be there for their husbands during the season, which the season is, well, they have camp, they have pre camps and stuff like that. It's basically all year, but then, there might be 2 or 3 months in between where you can go back to where you're from. What job is going to let you leave? What career is going to let you leave for 2 or 3 months at a time? What kind of vacation is that? So it's not like you can go to that new city, start a career, and then when the off season happens and your husband wants to travel or go back to, where family is, it's challenging if you have a career. You can't just stop it like that. It's even challenging to go back to school, especially back then. Maybe not so much now, but back then it was because there was no online school. So, I had started a graduate program and it was really challenging because I couldn't finish it in the timely manner that, I should have been able to finish it because I had to stop because we were, back and forth. And because what they do is earns enough money to set you up for life, you really want to put all your focus on that and make that work. And it's really important, I think, for your spouse to come home to, even though I couldn't cook, I still had hot meals ready for him. I know where to get good food. So let's put it that way. I made sure he had hot meals. I made sure, that everything in the house was running smoothly. Like he never had to worry about anything but just go and do his job because that's a gladiator sport. And when they are doing it, they don't need to have other things really going on. That sport takes out so much of their mind, their body, their soul. And so for them to have a helpmate like a wife, I feel it helps them so much. Um, but at any rate, and there's times when they get hurt. There's times when they may not. I remember there was a season my husband would come in the house crawling, and I cried every day because it's like, how can't you walk, but you're out there on the field every day, every Sunday, as an offensive lineman. Like how is this possible? What is this looking like? And if I wasn't there to make sure everything else was good, how would that have looked? I mean, whew. But at any rate, I never really shared with the other wives what I was doing. I was just, we would have our wives Bible study, which was amazing. Most teams have Bible study that the wives participate in. And it's not like those shows. That's why it's really hard for me to watch sitcom or like, I don't know what you would call them, but shows depicting um, NFL lifestyles because they have it so sensationalized, and and that's what people go with. They believe that, and it's like all that, like drinking in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, talking about just nonsense. I mean, I don't know what the new school wives are doing or anything like that, but I'm gonna tell you what we did back in the day. When we gathered together, we were doing Bible study. We were praying for our husbands, for their safety, for their security, for their health. We talked about our children. I didn't have children at first. We were married about almost 4 years before we had our first child, but we would talk about family, in-laws, where we are living, where we're from. We it was genuine, authentic relationships. It wasn't about um, what purse the person had. I mean, we all had and have beautiful things, but it wasn't a competition in that way. At least not with the women that I hung out with. But at any rate, I'm going to go to the chat real quick. I don't want to miss out. I see a lot of people are coming into the building. Thank you so much for joining in. Manskari 2X, thank you so much for asking everyone to thumbs me up. I appreciate that. And welcome to my live. You can talk your way to healthier relationships. It's so great to see you. Yes, thank you for speaking to everyone as you coming into the building. Deborah's Glad Tidings is here. How are you, Deborah? I saw you earlier. I think in Carter's, was it Carter's Eats? I don't know. I saw you earlier though. And I see Carolyn Eats All is here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. Um, so I never talked about, what I did or anything like that, but I remember there was one wife in particular that was always so curious about what I was doing afterwards. After we got together, I would always have to go. Like if we were at a lunch or something, I would be like, all right, you guys, I have to go get back to business, basically. And it made her really, really curious. And so she was asking me, like what was it that I was doing? Because it was a business that I created. And so I shared it with her, and eventually she started one too. So it was really good to see that, she had more of a purpose as well, because she didn't have children, her and her husband. And so she was just home trying to figure things out. I mean, it's but so much you can work out. It's but so many stores you can shop at or whatever. That's frivolous. That's no substance at all. That is not our purpose. That is not our assignment. Not at all. So even in the midst of all of that, it's so important to find your assignment. And so I woke up this morning, because of all the experiences that I've had, and I feel like right now, putting everything together, be it business, education, career pathing, things that I've done and accomplished, I've been able to put them all together into who I am right now as Coach Sherri. And waking up and knowing that I had some appointments to see some of my apprentices that are out there doing their thing. Oh my goodness, making a difference for themselves and their excitement. And just knowing that that is my purpose, to encourage, to coach, and to empower others. And so that is why that is my thankful nugget today. It's my thankful nugget every day, but that is truly my blessing. And not everyone has the opportunity, for whatever reason, to understand what their purpose is. And I'm just here to tell you that you have a purpose, that there is an assignment that God has set forth for you. You may think that things you've done in the past, you don't understand why you had those situations come about. You may not understand how those positions, how they are linked together as part of your puzzle, but they are. And when you put them all together, you will most definitely find your purpose. That is one of my most cherished things to be able to do, and support others in finding their purpose. It's about understanding what you are great at, what feels good to you when you do it, what people look to you for as an SME, as a subject matter expert. What questions are they continuously asking you and you find yourself answering them at with ease? What are those things? And you will notice that there is a pattern. A pattern. I don't care if you had the most entry level position or the most basic business. You have done things in those careers or in those businesses or in your community as a volunteer, even, that is leading you to what your true purpose is. You have it. If you found your purpose, please put it in the chat right now. I would love to know what you know your purpose to be, because we all have one. And it's not about someone else's purpose. It's not about you driving your child to their practice, to their job, to whatever they're doing that's great. That's not your purpose. Your purpose is much bigger than that. It's much bigger than being that Uber driver for your children. And you can have it all. Trust me. That is something that has been so, so important to me all along. Even when, my husband and I did businesses together after he retired. And when we completed certain projects, that's how I started going back into doing my own businesses, because I had to find my purpose. Those were still his purposes, those were his dreams, his desires. And even though we are husband and wife and we are one, that still was not my vision for me. That wasn't where I was utilizing my true strengths, not the ones that I love and adore to do. And even though I was great at it, and I am still, it still wasn't, it wasn't for me. I had to find what was for me. And that is what I always pray to God, to show me what is for me. Even when I was caring for my mother when she had ALS and I had to stop my world, completely stop my world, stop everything that I was doing. I mean, I was on the brink of doing something great. I can't even determine where it would have taken me, but I was being interviewed for magazines on networking. I used to be a networking guru. People used to come to me about networking tips. It was amazing. And I actually was did a photo shoot and did a magazine article that they wrote up on me about that. And just as that was happening, I had to stop it completely, like off the grid, lights out, put the white sheets over the furniture type of world stop. And I remember, when my mom came home, and it was just such a newness for me. That's that sandwich generation, when you're stuck between caring for your family and caring for your parents. And because she was on a ventilator and she needed continuous assistance, and I remember walking through, and I remember looking up to God, like, God, is this what you have for me? Is this where I'm at? Is this what you will have for me to do only? It was as a caregiver. And yes, I was honored. It was my honor, my pleasure to take care of my mother, to be in a position to be able to stop my world. Not everyone can do that. To be able to stop my world to care for her. But I knew that still there was so much more for me, because I also knew that at the end, what then? And that's the thing. It's like being that mother with the children, and when they go off to college, what then? It's that wife that's been married for many, many years and has been a devoted wife. And then for whatever reason, they get a divorce. What then? I never wanted to be stuck in a what then. I needed to have something continuously going, grinding. That's when people talk about grinding. That's what I'm talking about. When you continuously are moving forward, pushing forward, no matter how muddy the waters may get, you continuously have those circles going, those wheels turning continuously. And so I asked God, what, like, is this it? What's going on? Because I'm trying to tell you, I'm not a medical anything. That was science was not my thing. I'm business. I'm economics. That's what I do. So, but I learned and I became so good at it. Like I remember people told me I need to go into the medical field, but I know that I could only care for someone like that if they're my parent, my mother or my father. Definitely not just anybody because it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, and then that's when God just told me, keep going. Just keep going. Don't stop. Like don't drop whatever it is that you were doing. Keep going. So even in the midst of that, I kept going, I kept going. And that's when it just opened up me to be able to coach women, groups of women all over the country on their next move, their next steps, women who were in transition, women who were in careers that they were not finding supportive of who they are, women who were trying to find their way. And it was so wonderful. It was flexible. You know, it was something I was able to do at home. Then the community realized that I was in the building. And so, you know, nonprofits and small businesses started to reach out to me to help with their marketing. So it was a great thing. And I was able to do all those things and still be there for my mother 24/7. So I'm just saying, you have a purpose. Don't let anything be your excuse. When I was pledging, I remember we had to learn excuses. Excuses are the tools of the weak and incompetent. Those who use them are seldom capable of anything else. Excuses. So don't have excuses because you are not weak, nor are you incompetent. You are very capable. I want to go here and see what you all are talking about. Let's see. Oh, there's so many people coming in. Thank you. It's great to see everyone. Angela Critters, how are you? I was just in a live. Whose live was it? And I heard them say your name. How are you? It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I understand your husband may have hurt his arm or something. I hope he's okay. Let's see. The everyday life of an OC dish chick. Hello, hello. Welcome to the live. Welcome. Hello, Mrs. Carter, my soror. It's so good to see you. So you can talk your way to healthier relationships is saying that's so awesome that you realized you knew you had purpose outside of being your husband's wife, even though you could have easily been justified in being a stay-at-home wife and mother. Yeah, I mean, and that's what happens to a lot of women. You know, there's no reason why they would have to do anything, why we would have to do anything, literally. But that wasn't that wasn't my dream. That was his. I just so happened to be along for the ride, to be the support. And I I realized, for me, for my sanity, you know, I guess it's because of the way that my parents raised me, you know, to be self-sufficient, especially my mother. I mean, my parents worked side by side. They had their own business for 40 years, but my mother always was able to do her own thing, have her own identity. That was always so important. And so Yeast Believes is saying to support, inspire, and encourage others. Yes. And so even go deeper than that, Yeast. What does that look like for you? What does that mean to you? What does that transfer into for you? Absolutely. That's really good. And I can see that definitely from you. Um, Everyone is speaking. And oh, he hurt in June, surgery next Tuesday. All right, I'm definitely going to be praying for his speedy recovery and for the surgeon's hands to be amazing and do miracles, because that is important, that they will be able to do what they need to do so he can be much, much better, like it never happened. It's so awesome that everyone is speaking here. Angela Critters, are you raising your hand? Hello, hello. Thank you all for speaking. If you all don't have each other, I highly recommend that you grab each other up. Please write each other's names down if you're not familiar and check out their channel, because everyone in this live are wonderful people. I appreciate you all for being here. I truly do. So, what I was talking about is my November thankful nugget number 23. Today is the 23rd, and y'all, I have been doing this every day. And so my nugget today was purpose, waking up and knowing what my purpose is and how freeing that is, how how much of a relief that provides me, you know. That's why every day I always talk to my children, my husband, what's on the calendar, what do you guys have going on. I want them to always, it's not like a feeling or an obligation, but I always want them to have something going on, something to look forward to, something to strive towards, some type of goal that they're trying to achieve, because that is so important. You know, it's you don't get as fulfilled when you're doing it for, say, just your family. I mean, I know that it is fulfilling because that's what you're doing, but always try and have something for yourself, even if it's doing a YouTube video. That's for you. That's awesome. This is a real thing. No matter how small it is, it can grow into something so amazing, you know. So don't ever belittle the things that may not be giving you the return that you desire, because that will come as long as you remain diligent and keep those wheels moving forward. That is what you have to do. And I know even with lives, people would always say when you first start doing a live, you may only have one person in the live chat or no people really. Or you may have hundreds, God willing, in the future, thousands. But however many you have, still perform, still share, still communicate as if you have those thousands. That's with anything. If you post an event and if only two people come to that event, you know, and this is back when they did live events. You know, I used to do live events when I first started doing them at hotels and, you know, renting out hotel space to do it. I may have only had a couple of people show up, but I would still share the information that I had set forth as if it was a jam packed room. And eventually that's what happened. And you look around, it happens kind of like all of a sudden, you start to look around and say, wait a minute, it's a lot of people here now. What's going on, you know? And then you just call that a blessing. All of it is a blessing, because my thing is I love slow and steady, because that's what really wins the race. If you keep doing things so fast and furious, you know, you may miss some steps, you may have to go back and you missed a turn. But if you are slow and steady, you are making all the right moves, the right turns, connecting with the right people, and that is what's important. So don't belittle where you're at, be it in your business, on your YouTube channel, in your career. It all pays off. You have to just keep moving. I remember Tyler Perry said when people give up, they were just 4 inches away from getting to their goal. 4 inches. You know, I always say that the doorknob is right there. So just keep going and write out your purpose and make it plain, make it clear. You know, have your planner. I'm trying to tell you, I love technology. Yes, that was my thankful nugget for yesterday. But having things in on paper, that's something that you can refer to. I mean, I have stuff on my Outlook calendar and everything. And yeah, I can go back, but I always would have to have my technology. But I love to be able to pull out my book. And this is part of my legacy too. I love to be able to pull out my journals, to be able to pull out my calendars. And I am prayerful that in the future, when I'm long and gone, that when my kids, their kids go through my things, that they will find these calendars, they will find these planners, and realize that a lot of the things that I was doing or I am doing is still relevant to where they're at. And it might be information that they need in that moment to, to get them through. And if I have all of that just on my phone, just on my computer, do you know how many computer drives get cleared out, or phones get locked and you can't ever get into them, or just whatever when someone passes away? And so that information that you think you're storing for the future, well, who's going to see it? It's going to be in the clouds somewhere. But if it's on paper and you write it in ink, that's going to last. I know some people like to write in pencil. I love pencils, but write it in ink because pencils can fade, and have all that down. I mean, I'm gonna show you. This is one of my well, I don't know if you can see all of it, but this is how I write all my stuff down in my planners every day. I write everything down. I write, what I want to do for my channel. I write down notes from other people's lives, because when I'm in someone's live, oh, I'm taking notes, especially when they're dropping nuggets, which is often. Every day I am writing down, like, how many how many viewers and how many subs I have and how many watch hours I have, so I can compare them day to day, and then go back and see the growth, because that's the thing. What I've noticed on YouTube, like if I go to someone's older video, and oh, you still in the bushes, Mrs. Carter? All right. I see Tales of Tea is in the building too. Hi. Tales of Tea has been diligent with doing her November Thankful Nuggets. If you do not know Tales of Tea, I recommend you go there. I mean, she has these quick, short videos that are just inspiring. I mean, she is literally finding something every day, just like I am, to be thankful for, because we all have something to be thankful for. No, our videos aren't typically long, but it's not even about that. It's about just putting it out there, putting some positivity out in the atmosphere amongst all the other things that's going on. This is the month of Thanksgiving, and why not every day honor it and just say what you are thankful for? It doesn't have to be big, it can just be part of a video you're already doing. Tuber chat, connect and grow. Hello, thank you for sharing this on Reddit. I appreciate that. I actually just signed up to for Reddit. I hadn't been, but I remember in a video that I had done before live, you had shared there as well, and I appreciate you. So I'm trying to figure it out. I got connected with the one of the owners of Reddit too. Not connected like, we call each other on the phone or anything like that, but I was became familiar with one of the persons, the people that started it. Let's see. Mrs. Carter is still in the bushes. And so you can talk your way is saying, um, okay. So she said, yes, I am a firm believer in having your own identity in the midst of a relationship. How do you teach your kids to recognize their purpose? So what I've done with my children, it's, it's first of all, it's personality. Tests that I've done with them, assessments that I've done with them. One that I love is DISC, and another that I've done with them, which we've done for our sales consultants when we had our real estate development, is called BOLT. And it's understanding what their strengths are, what really drives them, what motivates them into doing certain things. Then it's an assessment also that I had provided for them that I do for people who aren't sure what their career path is. I love to do it with high school students who are getting ready to go maybe to college or not to college. And it helps them to identify careers that are aligned with their interests and their strengths. And that assessment is called My Next Move. And it's good for people of all ages. Even if you're in a career that you feel that, I work with people who are in careers that they've been in for 20, 30 years, but they're still young. It's just that they've been doing that career since they were 19 or 21. And now they're like, I can retire, but I'm still really young. I'm only in my early 50s or mid 50s. And so when they do this assessment, it shows them, not kind of, it shows them all these different types of careers are that are aligned with what they already have experience in, what they are interested in, what their education levels are, and it's careers that they may have never ever considered. They may not have ever even heard of it before, but it's a lot of layers to that particular site. And so I really like to go through it, walk through it with my clients, because it's so many different pieces. I mean, it goes all the way down to what a person in that position would do on a daily basis. It goes into what jobs in their area are available in that position. And so for my children, I feel like, oh no, that's on the think for my children and for people that I work with, I have them do it. For my kids, I had them do it, especially before they went off to college, so that they can determine what their majors would be. And also, it was important for me and for my husband to treat our children as individuals, not as, not group them together. I did kind of, I don't want to say make that mistake, but I did kind of do that a little bit though with my daughters because it was just so easy. And but it still worked out. It still worked out in terms of sports. But it's really important when you can kind of have them understand who they are aside from being that sibling or that child in our family. And I think it's been very beneficial. And they can each support each other in what each one of them are doing or trying to do. Um, let's see, Angela Critters is saying so true about that 4 inches. And you can talk your way is saying, I believe God blesses us according to what we can handle at the time. Absolutely. I always feel, God brings you to it because he knows you can get through it. And so you have to understand that he strengthens you. Like that's why I say when I cared for my mother, it was an honor because that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. Whew, it was very challenging, but I was honored because to me, it was God telling me that I can do it, that He trusted me enough to give me that assignment. And I felt, and I still feel like this to this day, that that was my mother's last lesson, life lesson for me. Because growing up, my mother used to always say that I could do anything. People would say, oh, I have a headache. Oh, my Sherry, she can fix that. My mother thought I could do everything. She believed in me so much. And I would sometimes say, Mom, no, I can't. Why do you tell people that or whatever? But it was just, she just believed in me. And I didn't 100% believe in it as hard or as much as she did. I mean, I just would do things and it would just happen. But it wasn't like, I knew it was going to happen. My mother always knew it was going to happen. And that's because she was a praying mother. That's first of all. But I just felt like she put so much into me as if I'm all that. And I'll be like, I'm not all that. But when I cared for her, that was confirmation. Even though I was 40 years old when I finally received that I can do anything. I could do anything through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. That is a fact. And I stand on that. There might be things that I've never done before, but if he puts it to me, I'm going to do it. I can do it. Absolutely. No blinking, nothing. I can do it. And it was because of that experience. That's the first time in my life that I believed what she had been telling me my whole life, that I can do anything. You may not want to do anything. You don't want to do everything. You don't. I mean, you want to do what you do. But if God puts you in front of something, no matter how challenging it is, that is an honor. He's saying you are equipped to do this. Yeah, no, you've never done it before, but you can do it. And that right there, I'm trying to tell you. Mm, let's see. Thank you. I'm glad that you're catching me live too, Tuber Chat. So I am definitely going to be going live a lot more frequently. Um, I'm definitely in this for the long haul, but I'm also in it to win it. And so I want to try and really build and develop and grow my channel. And so I know that this is definitely the one of the best ways to do it. And my soror Lisa Carter's Eats, and she's in here as Mrs. Carter. If y'all don't know her, you need to catch her. She sprinkles nuggets all throughout her lives. You be like, ooh, wait, I think she was talking to me. Hold on. And I think she knows by now that I catch them. I catch them. I got you. And I appreciate her because of that. Absolutely, I do. I'm glad to see everyone is speaking. Angela Critters saying it sounds amazing. Oh yeah. And so the site, mm, I wish I could type it, but it's mynextmove.org. It's great for athletes that are retiring. It's also really good for military. A lot of like veteran organizations and stuff like that, they will utilize that for people who are coming out, rotating out of the military. hmm it is an honor when God gives you that gift. Yes, it is. And we all have gifts that are just brewing inside of us, and it's just a matter of when you receive it. I always feel like I've lived my life in different segments. So from 0 to 20, that was the time for me to like learn, to explore, to understand the importance and how to make friends, to how to be a friend. That's what I learned during that time, how to be a friend. People can make friends, but are you a friend? That's the thing. And, just being able to have the free will to have that security, understand what that feels like, seeing things that most people probably hadn't seen before, just on the geography just of where I lived. I grew up in northern New Jersey, and it's just a remarkable town. My town is remarkable. It's extraordinary. Extraordinary. I grew up in a town called Teaneck. It is the most extraordinary town in the country. And I say that with confidence. Um, and I mean, it is. It just is. So much happened, continues to happen there, and it's extraordinary. But then from 20 to 30 was some of the most, they were the best. It was the best times of my life. Ooh, some of my best memories come from that decade. Just amazing times that I never thought I would have. Just amazing, amazing. 30 to 40 is when I really honed in skills that I am utilizing right now, that I became a big boss. Did things in a business way that just about everything. And I know you're probably like, what? Why does she keep saying that? It's just remarkable, things that I had been exposed to, that I had experienced, that I was privy to, that I did, were things that were done out, and it's from my wildest dreams. Like, not even a wild dream did I dream it. And so between 30 and 40, and that's because my husband has huge aspirations and ideas, it, and he's competitive, and so the things that we were able to do after he retired were just things I never, it was just amazing, and it stacked me up, like, for real, with experiences that not too many people, especially my age, really have. And then from my late 30s, I want to say, because that's when I started, you know, being in that sandwich generation, and caring for my mother and still caring for my young children, my husband. I learned compassion. And so from 40 to 50, I was able to take everything that I had from my 20s and 30s and start to figure out my purpose, like really crafting my purpose. And my late 40s is when my aha moments happened, and my purpose was just completely revealed to me. It because I was so obedient to it. When I was learning in my 40s what my true purpose was, I was doing things that was paying me stipends, nothing. Because it wasn't about the money. It was about the experience. It was about the exposure. Everything you do cannot always be about the money. And it might take some sacrifice depending on where you are financially, but it might take sacrifice, or not. And either way, you need to take it. You need to figure out how you can make it work, because that's the obedient piece that God wants to see from you. He wants to see that, you know what? it's not even about this. It's about that. It's about this skill. It's about this experience. It's about this exposure. It's about this difference that I'm making. It's about this impact that I'm making. It's about this legacy that I'm about to leave right here. It's about me sharing and pouring myself out right here. So when he sees that you are about that business doing that, whew, when it's all said and done, that right there is where the blessings can the flow of blessings is unbelievable. Things will be revealed to you that you never even knew was a thing. Like what I'm doing right now is what I'm supposed to be doing, but I never knew that it was a thing. And it's so huge, and I love it. And, and I love it. And so when I turned 50, I decided that there's no, it's like no holds bar. I know what I know. I own what I know. I give God all the glory for what I know. And I'm not even apologizing for it. I'm not even going to minimize it. Mm-mm. Nope. Because a lot of times when you have these, when you know your purpose, um, and others around you don't know theirs, you'll you'll pour water on your fire so that your flames aren't that big. But it's not about that, because it's like it boils up inside of you and you need to have it come out. And it's not in a braggadocious way. It just is what it is. What I have is for me. What you have is for you. You just have to find what it is for you. What is your purpose? You can have this too. That's the beauty of it. God is so big and so massive. He gives it to all of us. It's not just for one person. It's just a matter of you tapping into it. And my taps into mine, I'm not even at the core. The awesomeness of it is what keeps me going, because I know it's so much more ahead. That's why I get people always think that I'm, being silly, or and I know you're probably like, you silly? Yeah, yeah. Some people think, they think maybe like, how can you be happy during this time? How can you, because I know that this, like any kind of challenging situation, is God working, because he works best when you're off balance, because he wants to make sure he got you, that you got to trust the process, your steps are ordered, that you're not going to fall no matter how off balance you are. He wants to see how much you really really trust him. Because if you walking straight and secure, you think you're doing it on your own. But when he have you off balance and you never really fall, because he always got you, that's when he know you're gonna always put him first. I'm trying to tell y'all. So I get excited when things are crazy happening. It's like, whoa, what's going on? What's happening next? What did Mm, I'm trying to tell you, if I could tell y'all all the things that I experienced this past month, since October, since really my birthday. My birthday was October 22nd. So really since my birthday, all the different things that has occurred in everything that I do on a daily basis, with business, with career stuff, with people, like it's been so many moving pieces, but it makes me so happy, because first of all, that makes me know that blood is still flowing. I'm here, and that I always have a chance to make things better, that I always have an opportunity to learn, to grow, to, like, that's what this means. Like, oh man, I can't wait to see what this is going to be. That's why I love to start and complete, and then start it again, rinse and repeat, because that's what it's all about, making it better, not stopping, but keep going. I love it. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I'm talking so much. Let me get a drink. Hold on. Some water. I don't know why I always put my cup up so high. Let's see. Angela Critters has the. I'm way behind on this. Let's see. It is an honor when God gives you that gift. Yes. So, you can talk says, I love how you looked at that as an assignment from heaven rather than a burden. If our parents were any kind of way around, they deserve our best. Absolutely. Honor thy mother and father so our life is long. Yes. And may the life you live speak for you. The Chit Chat Queen is in the building. Hello. How are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Angela Critters is saying, not everyone knows how to be a true friend, but thankful for them. Yeah, I'm so thankful for all of my friends. I've definitely have been able to pick up amazing friends along the way through all of my trials and tribulations and successes and challenges and everything. And the thing with me, I will meet a lot of people, but it's always one or two that stick, that, over the years will always be. And I'll always know the groups that I've connected with. I will always know the masses, but it's always this one or two that truly, truly stick. And that's all. I'm good with that, and over the years it increases. And I know that you can talk your way to healthier relationships had an amazing live Saturday night with five of her best friends. And, they have a beautiful relationship. If you guys want to be encouraged in friendship, I highly recommend you go and check out the replay of her live. But I had mentioned in her chat, my friends and I, we don't talk often at all. My best besties, we don't, we, whew, we talk very infrequent, but we always know that we are there for each other 110%. We always know that we are praying for each other, that we love each other. And when we do speak, it's as if we just spoke an hour before. I have one friend, the minute she picks up the phone, we start off our conversation where we ended it last. And we might only speak twice a year. And it is so hilarious to hear it, because we'll be like, so like I was saying before, and then we'll just keep going. And I love it. I love it. You live next to Teaneck and Wyckoff? Yes. So you know Teaneck, Angela Critters. And look, we were both in New Jersey. Now we're both in North Carolina. Isn't that something? So Vern's Junk Closet is in the building. Hello, YT Cheerleader. This woman right here is so amazing. She is everywhere doing everything. And she is a wonderful, wonderful support connector of people, places, and things. Vern, you know me. It was like 20 minutes before the live that I even posted that I was gonna go live. I have to get better. It's just, I know. So you didn't really miss. You really didn't. I appreciate you for being here now. Let's see. She's welcoming everyone. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Everyone is speaking. Let's see. Yes, Verns and Yeast Belize are twinning. They are YouTube twins. They really are. Yes, we're not at the core yet. This is, it's just a little, we're just chipping away. It's, oh, and I don't think, I'm trying to think if we'll ever get to the core. I don't know if I ever want to get to the core. I don't, I don't ever want to. Yes. Let's see. Um, Hi, Pandy's here, Candy and more. How are you? How are things going in South Carolina? I hope that everyone is being safe where you are. Are they talking about maybe bringing you back home so you can work virtually, or how's everything? It's good to see you. God is moving through all this uncertainty. He is. We just have to trust in Him more. Trust Him. Whew. Yes, thank you. Please, you guys, as you're coming in, thumbs up. If you are new, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so that you can be notified when I post another video or when I go live, which at this point is kind of random. You know what, I am going to try to go live a lot more frequently. So, um, I just can't tell you exactly the times or anything like that, but definitely on Saturday, I have a 10-part series. And this past Saturday, I did the first one on commitment. And next Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you are trying to build your business foundation strong, start a business, trying to understand the different steps that you need to take before you start it, or if you started it and you just want to build the foundation stronger, please come over Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see. So Pandy's is saying everything is going well so far. Thanks for asking. Still at the hospital for now. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you continue to stay safe. But everyone, I am so glad that you joined me this evening. Once again, this has been my November Thankful Nuggets, day 23. And I am thankful for purpose, for waking up every day knowing what my purpose is. I am Coach Sherri. I am your career and business coach. My purpose is to empower, to encourage, and to coach you through whatever you're going through, be it your business, your career, your education, whatever it is. Just come on in and catch these nuggets as they are being dropped. I really appreciate you all. This wouldn't be anything without you all being here. Absolutely. I see everyone has been speaking. If you don't have each other, be sure to write the person's names down and go and check them out afterwards, because everyone in this live right here are amazing. If you are catching this replay, I appreciate you, and leave a comment down in the comment box below and let me know, what are you thankful for today. Today is the 23rd of November. All right, everyone. And if you guys who are in the live, if you can do the same once we close out, if you can go back and leave a comment and let me know, what are you thankful for today? Every day there is something to be thankful for. And you know what I love about this so far? I mean, it is a lot, trust me, to do a video every day, but it makes you so much more purposeful of looking for those things that you are thankful for, because we take so many things for granted. So it's about not taking it for granted, looking at it, identifying it, and appreciating it. And so what I'm doing is just putting it out there on video, what that thankful nugget is. So until we speak again, remember, practice how you play, because when you practice hard, you will always play to win. You guys, this has been Real Talk with Coach Sherri.